Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Welcome, America, to AmendmentOneRadio.com, where your First Amendment rights are still safe to say what's on your mind.
Hey, good afternoon. It is 5:30, and my name is Catherine K. Guns, and this is Firearms Talk. I have 15 years experience with handling firearms, 2 years as a firearms dealer, and then one day I took a concealed weapons permit course, and I learned more in that 3.5 hours than I did in all the years of handling firearms, and that's what inspired me to become a firearms instructor. Currently a range officer, and I enjoy teaching and learning every day. I had some really awesome classes this week. I taught quite a few people, and I enjoyed it. And I have a guest, which is Gerald Markham. How you doing?
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Your show comes in right after mine, doesn't it?
Yep, definitely.
And it's called Voice of America.
Mm-hmm. All
day long. All day long. All right. Well, this show is brought to you by sponsors and advertisers and people out there like you. If you want to call in, the studio number is 727-493-2055. And go ahead and voice your opinion on either one of our shows. That would be awesome. And then if you want to become a radio talk show host, you guys are more than welcome to do it out there, because if I can do it, you guys can do it. The website address to do that is at www.talkwad.com. So that's TALKWAD.com. So we got quite a few interesting stories coming up today. And we're probably going to recap off right where we left off last week, which was a pretty interesting story I had going, and I'm going to pull it up. It was the one written by Colonel Benjamin Finley, and he wrote that on February 25th, 2013, and it was about the 5 steps to take support on the Second Amendment rights. And it was pretty good. I'm trying to remember about right where I left off. You see, I think we left off right about under the.
I go with the nation's highest court.
I think that was a good spot to do that. It started out with our nation's high. It seems a little loud in my ears. It really does. It's like, whew. All right. Our nation's highest court has already made an individual gun rights clear in several U.S. Supreme Court's landmark decisions, like Heller and like McDonald versus the city of Chicago. The Heller case was the first Supreme Court case to affirm the right to an individual to keep and bear arms accordance to the Second Amendment. The McDonald decision overturned in earlier decisions banning the possession of handguns by its citizens. These decisions mean that it should not be necessary to argue the merits of the right to gun ownership. It's just as necessary to argue the merits of the person's right to vote or to be free from slavery. Gun ownership, along with other constitutional rights, is simply not a subject to infringement or on the grounds of some members of society to disapprove of that right. And we feel that we would be better off if the right decision didn't exist or it was significantly modified. I oppose the anti-freedom policies that disregard the American citizen's right for self-defense and the freedoms that our founding fathers fought for and is guaranteed to us. My ancestors, Thomas Newsom, a soldier and farmer, fought under the General George Washington's at the Battle of Brandywine Creek in 1777, defending Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and all of our freedoms and independence. Our founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment so that Americans should never have to live in tyranny from our governments. We should not undermine the fundamental liberties that our men and women in uniform have fought so bravely to preserve, and which our entire American system of government and our free lifestyles are based on. So that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's pretty much states the obvious. So, it's just a damn shame that you got some idiot named Feinstein up there that wants to take it away.
Speaking of idiots, I got My niece, she rocks. She sent me a picture of her first gun. I am so proud of her, and it's a really awesome looking gun. And then she sent me this video, and we've talked about it in the previous shows about the idiot statement that our vice president had stated about buying a shotgun. So she sent me this video, and I would actually like to play it. It was good. It's all in good fun, but here we go. So if you want to drop that in for me.
She's asking if a ban goes into effect on certain kinds of weapons and high-capacity magazines.
And what's her name?
Kate.
Kate, if you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun, have the shells, a 12-gauge shotgun, and I promise you, as I told my wife, we live in an area that's wooded and somewhat secluded. I said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts.
Like that. You'll be completely fine.
Oh my gosh.
Ow, Alan!
What's wrong, Autumn?
Pull the trigger. Jesus.
Ooh. Silicone saved her.
I promise you, whoever's ever coming in is not going to... You don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim. It's harder to use.
Really? Looks like she's doing really good to me.
Yeah.
And in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
Oh my God. Yeah, classic.
She's asking if
So, and it's really true. I know there's a lot of people out there that have shot shotguns and had their butts kicked by them. In fact, one of my first guns I ever shot, I was too close to the scope. And they were all laughing at me, which wasn't right. You know, I was all of like, I think maybe 16 years old. And I was way close to that scope. And that's where I got my first christening with the scope in my eye.
Yeah, how'd that black guy work out for you?
Yeah, that was really painful. But you know what? I didn't care. I was so tough. I was like, okay, did I hit my target? That's all I cared about. There's like blood coming from my eye and everything. But I wanted to know, did I hit my target?
Yeah, definitely a very interesting comment with old Biden, though. You know, it just goes to show how stupid our government can really be. You know something? Because I guarantee you inside that bum's house that there's no shotgun.
Oh, no. Well, you got to remember, he's got armed guards with AR-15s. Wow. What a concept.
Yeah, that that just kills me. Yeah, it's just like, the kids are scared to go to school, but yet they've got armed guards that take them to and from school every day. So, yeah, basically, Biden, you suck.
Yeah, I'm not trying to pick on him too hard because I don't know that much about him, unfortunately. He's kind of a quiet fella. But he had to put his 2 cents in here, and this is why they keep him quiet. I get it. I get it. This is why they keep him quiet.
Your parents got more brains than him.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. So on to, there's a few other videos that I'm going to play throughout the show here that are really good. One of them is how to piss off a frog. I don't know, unless he wanted to save it for himself. And then there was another one by John Stossel on 2020 about gun myths. Not actually. Oh, he's actually going to play it. You don't have to play it. If you want to save it for your show, it's pretty cool. But anyways, to finish up on that article, and then we're also going to go into some Florida gun laws. And we'll be able to talk about Florida gun laws but let's finish this subject up because this is a really good article written by Colonel. Patriotic citizens should never surrender their gun ownership rights nor their Second Amendment freedom. Period. No compromise. We should not compromise that freedom, because doing it means so that we give up our own values and rights to meet that position that doesn't fully support those rights. We don't want a lose-lose situation where everybody gives up something in the middle to a middle ground position. We want a win-win where everybody gains the preservation of their existing rights. And that's about right where we got that phone call in from a good friend, Joe, and he said, never mind this so much about our gun rights. It's our it's our inalienable rights.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, you tell me that I can't defend myself. I'm sorry. I'm using a tool to defend myself to make it easier, but it's an inalienable right to defend myself.
Yep.
And that's where I thought even Ted Nugent said it best.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So it's going to make it to where everybody's going to have crossbows and bow and arrows, and you're going to be going up against our own military. So yeah.
Well, I heard I was at a few stores today, and I heard that they were actually they did a few marches, and we're trying to gain some ground on expressing our feelings. But I honestly believe that there's more of us out there than anti-gun people. And I urge and try to encourage everybody to become an NRA member. It's only $35 for the year, or donate as much as you can, and actually speak up, because silence is it's nothing.
Stupidity.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yep, definitely.
So any attempt to encroach on these freedoms is offensive to every American who has ever breathed our free air and who has ever used a firearm to fend off an evil attacker, whether it be a rapist, a violent attacker, criminal breaking into their home, or a defense of their family against a tyrant or any other side of the world. Gun rights control is not a reasonable nor rational response to a crime or to crime. Interestingly, some studies indicate that there is much stronger correlation between car ownership and car-related killings than there is between gun ownership and gun-related killings. Most of the murderers are committed by people with criminal records who are prohibited from owning guns already. And perhaps we should more strongly enforce the existing firearms-related laws and have stricter penalties applied. Predators and criminals are not deterred even by present laws that make it a felony to commit murder, or that they make it a felony for them to possess a gun due to their criminal record. So sadly, the criminal minds exist and will exist, and we must defend ourselves against it. Some say if a magazine capacity restrictions or a ban had been in effect, many mass shooting victims would already be alive today. There seems to be a complete absence of any evidence to support that. Magazines are tools available to good and bad people. For example, Virginia Tech shooter Sing Hui Cho was reported to... Did I even pronounce it right?
I don't know. It made me hungry.
Yeah, I've heard his name, but I certainly don't know how to pronounce it when it's written on paper. It's kind of fancy there. But Cho was reported to have carried 100 magazines, and the most active criminal shooters carry multiple firearms, making magazines a capacity of moot. And they run out of ammo on one, they just grab another gun.
Yep.
Our Second Amendment is freedom's most valuable, most cherished, most irreplaceable idea, and history proves it. When you ignore that right of good people to own firearms to protect their freedom, whose regimes will destroy millions and millions of defensive lives. The ruthless Hitler believed that to conquer a nation, you first disarm its citizens.
There you go, there.
And he imposed a strict gun registration requirements that enabled him to identify the gun owners identify the gun owners and then to confiscate all the firearms or all the guns by house-to-house inspections, effectively disarming his opponents and paving the way for genocide of the Jewish population.
Well, all you got to do is you just, on that statement, and where it says Hitler and it's underlined, you replace that with Obama. The confiscated guns is still the same thing. and where they're going to effectively disarm the American people and paving the way for the genocide. It's not of the Jewish population; it'll be of the American population. And for those of you out there that think we're crackpots, ask people in New York how they like having their guns taken away.
Yeah, that really sucks. Yeah. So in China, no guns whatsoever are allowed to be carried by its citizens, and we've seen the negative results of that. Gun bans, confiscations, and watering down of gun rights have proven not to work in other countries as well. And I'm going to even lead into as well as ours. That's why
Yeah.
Bill Clinton dropped that last ban. It meant nothing.
Yep.
It did nothing for us. It was just against us. It
Mhm.
didn't stop the criminals. Jay, hello. What about, like, for an example, the drug wars? They're not getting anywhere with that either. It's just, in fact, I think it made it more popular.
Yeah, actually, I can't figure it out. What's more popular, the war on drugs or the war in Afghanistan? I mean, which way are we pissing away more money that Americans are, trying to so-called, we're busting our cans to do something right, but our government isn't. And besides, where do they get off getting a 3 to 6 week vacation for Easter?
Oh, that's it. That's to be heard on your show, right?
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of makes my stomach turn a little bit. While everybody barely can even afford to take one day off, and most of us can. Most of us have to have a couple of jobs just to survive week to week.
Well, what really sucks is a friend of mine was telling me today that he was.
To give them more money. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh yeah.
pissed.
Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely. Well, the bad part about it is a friend of mine. He was one of Reagan's aides, and he was telling me. He says, "Yeah." He says, "Man," he says, "all they got to do." He says, "The trick of the deal is this: you want to get into Congress because once you serve your first 4-year term in Congress, you are vested for life. You can quit right then, and you get paid your same pay for life."
Wow. Sounds like my
So.
next job. I don't think they're going to let me in, though, after watching my shows. So, gun bans, confiscation, and watering down of our gun rights have proven not to work and in other countries as well. And it is instead of only to ensure that law-abiding citizens, the good guys and the good gals, are defenseless against the still armed criminals. This week, I talked to a friend of mine in the United Kingdom, Robert, who is recently retired CEO of a corporation there, and told me of his experiences with guns confiscation and the passing of a very strict gun control laws in England. As a result of this terrible 1996 Durblane school massacre there, similar to the one in our Newtown, Connecticut, he told me that after the school shooting that all the guns were confiscated by requirements of the new firearms law. Boy, that just sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That the police that there are unarmed, that the strict gun control laws require a very involved and costly licensure process for all firearms with a mandatory renewal by certificates every 5 years that require an in-home inspection without a warrant, visit by law enforcement officers. And he said that he noticed a definite increase in the UK crimes by armed criminals. And if that bad people want a firearm and ammo for crimes, they can easily find them on the streets here. And in fact, I just read something I still need to fact check a little more, but I did see it on a site that's quite popular, that I think that in the state of Florida, they're pushing for, if you want to buy ammo, you're going to now have to pass a mental background check. So they're actually going to try to now angle it towards the ammo. I don't know how much of that is true. I'm still researching it, but I already found it on one very popular website. But just this week, the Senate Bill 5737, introduced in our state of Washington, that bans assault weapons, which by their definition includes a semi-automatic pistol, which has a detachable magazine and a capacity of no more than 10 rounds. And remember that one feature, like the pistol grip, that proposed law says that law enforcement officers may, without a warrant, inspect your home once a year. Okay, and remember that when they're talking about that, even that feature that has a pistol grip, that includes every firearm. Make
Yep.
no mistake on it. They intentionally put that in there, and they want us to hate our rifles, and they make them sound so bad that we're willing to say, okay, we'll give up those, but don't take the rest of our guns. But their definitions aren't even nearly close to what they should be if they wanted to. But honestly, it, they don't have a right to do this.
Nope.
You
And
know?
the problem is that nobody will speak up against them,
Mm.
and especially the fact that they're going past executive orders, they're bystepping Congress and the Constitution as well, and yet nobody will say anything to them. That includes you out there, American people. You guys are not saying anything either, and this is why they sit there and we now become the laughing stock people that our government just runs over top of us.
Yeah. So I urge everybody to do those 3 steps. Write your congressman, call your congressman, email your congressman, flood the lines. Do everything that you can to state this, or do the marches, support NRA, and do everything you can to make your voice be heard. Because I don't know if you guys watched my show last week, but we just covered over the fact that Obama had actually made it a felony on our First Amendment rights, that you cannot speak your piece about the president in his presence or at a rally or anything like that. They can actually, it's a felony. And that was right there on Fox News, but nobody seemed to have paid attention to that.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
also,
if they did or not, but
yeah, 'cause
definitely make yourself be known.
yeah, because that actually also includes any politician that is having secure detail by the Secret Service that the president appoints. So say something to them too, and it's also considered a felony as well.
Wow, it's just absolutely shocking. So then he goes on to talk about the proposed law says that law enforcement officers may, without warrant, inspect a home once a year for appropriate guns. You know that criminals won't comply with the magazine restrictions, and they will try to avoid the inspections. Okay, pistol shooting. Let's see, it jumped up on me. Pistol shooting for sporting purposes has been banned in Great Britain since 1997. As a result, the Great Britain Olympics pistol shooting squad has to practice in other countries. Within a decade of the British handgun ban and the confiscation of handguns from registered owners, crimes with handguns had doubled, according to British government crime reports. Gun crime is a serious problem there, and similar thing has happened in Australia, and the government there had banned all individual gun ownership in 1996, and armed robberies rose there by 73%. There was a 40% increase in assaults and a 20% increase in sexual assaults. That was improved. That has improved somewhat. So to me, these 2 major countries held up as models of the U.S. that don't provide much evidence of strict gun laws that will solve our problems. Given these facts, I would encourage you, my fellow law-abiding citizens, to take action today. Do these 5 things. I'm only asking for 3. He's asking you for 5. And listen, guys, he was a colonel. Okay, he did his share, and he's asking you guys to just try to do this. So given these facts, I would encourage you to take to encourage you, my fellow law-abiding citizens, to take this action today and do these 5 things. Take these actions today or very soon to save your life and the life of your loved ones, and you can show your support for our Second Amendment rights, gun ownership, to help preserve the freedoms and the benefits of society as a whole. Severe gun restrictions are happening right now, so we can't wait to take action. Number 1, contact your federal, state, and local government representatives immediately to voice your support of the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment, and if applicable, in the state of Florida Constitution's Article 1, Section 8, gun rights, and emphasizes stricter enforcement of many existing gun laws we already have, rather than pass new, more restrictive gun ammunition laws. Our focus should be on the real solutions to the problem of the misuse of firearms. such as strengthening mental health care and improving the quality data of supporting our National Instant Criminal Background Check systems. That's known as NICS. Any gun owner knows that when they have to go through their 4473, they get a background check, and it's either done by NICS or it's done by the Florida
FBI.
law enforcement,
Yeah.
FDLE. Okay, and we should encourage quicker and stricter prosecution of criminals who commit violence and they misuse firearms. Most of these criminals get a slap on the back. This is why another reason why they keep doing it. It's no big deal to them. Okay.
Yep.
Get involved before it's too late. This is number 2. Get involved before it's too late and join the NRA. To show your support for our Second Amendment gun rights, the NRA is the largest and most effective active firearms rights organization in the world. There's a lot of other people out there, and I have nothing against it with you joining these other gun rights activist groups. But if you want to make the most effective impact, join the NRA, support them, because those are the ones that are going to be able to make the biggest impact. There's a lot of other great organizations out there, and I've joined a few here and there. But my biggest support is with the NRA, okay? So the NRA is the largest and most active firearms rights organization in the world, with over 4 million members who represent 100 million law-abiding Americans who own firearms. They lobby to influence governments and stand up for our Second Amendment rights and freedoms. It says contact me soon at 850-484-3221 or by email at colbff@gmail.com to join or renew and get a 29% special discount on memberships, and I'll take a credit card by phone. I'm not entirely sure. I think he's probably got it set up on his website, and it certainly couldn't hurt to try and see what he's doing there. But you can go to nra.org, right there, nra.org, and do everything you need to get done there. And so number 3, take the fundamentals of firearms shooting and safety training class. Please don't go out, kind of like the video that we showed earlier. If you'd have taken any firearms safety course, you would have known the proper way to hold that shotgun, although it was done in great humor. If you'd have known the proper way to handle that shotgun, perhaps it wouldn't have kicked and been so dangerous what was going on there. And even I can, in just a brief few seconds right here, right now, can teach you that when you take a shotgun, you want to definitely make sure that if it has a stock, that it's butted up against your shoulder. And the best way to seat a shotgun into your shoulder, let me see if I can get in there. You see where my hand is laying right here on my okay, it's right between like the deltoid and kind of the just about the soft part. So when you reach your hand up, it sits right in there. That's when, so if you move your hand around and you lay the butt of the shotgun right in there, it'll seat right in, and that's will be the best shooting position. And hold it tight. Don't lax up on that, otherwise it'll give you one hell of a kick.
Nice bruise too.
Yeah. Okay. So he's talking about that. Take a fundamentals firearm safety shooting class. Okay, and then to learn the proper basics of grip, sight alignment, trigger control, handling malfunctions, and the accuracy techniques from a certified and well-qualified firearms instructors, both NRA and non-NRA fundamentals of shooting and safety courses. I remember one time a lady had Facebooked me about something that was, she said that she had been a victim and that, trust me, there was no time for me to defend myself. Well, I have friends that have experienced that, and with the proper training, you're able to defend yourself. And I would rather have that, at least that knowledge of knowing that if I had a chance to defend myself, that is better than not trying at all.
Yeah, because you definitely got to have that mental state of mind to where it'll give you that 1 to 2 second edge over somebody else.
That's right.
Because that's life or death.
Yeah, and it's training that gets you there. You can't just fantasize about it in your head of how you're going to do it without the practice of doing it. You ever try something new and the first time you do it, it doesn't quite work out so well?
Yeah,
Well, that's what the training is for.
Yeah, that and playing Call of Duty don't count, folks.
That's right. Number 4 that he says, select and purchase the proper firearm. Find out what the purpose of it is for you. Concealed carry means concealed carry, and a gun that is effective for concealed carry is one that you will carry.
Yeah, so that means you can't take that Barrett 50 out there.
Damn it, man. I don't think anybody would mess with me if I had a Barrett 50 strapped on my back. But concealed means concealed. And it's not going to do you any good if you purchase a firearm that you're not going to carry because it's too heavy or it's too bulky. You have to find what works best for you. Okay, so select and purchase the proper firearm for self-defense and your needs. And number 5, go shooting for fun and safety and practice your self-defense skills and become proficient in and safely using your gun. Join the local gun clubs and practice success, and you'll always shoot straight. For women out there, usually Monday nights, ladies shoot for free at most gun ranges. Call the local gun ranges and find out who offers that. Find out who offers group discounts. Get out there and practice. I tell you what, I've never had a bad day at the gun range.
Nope, I haven't either.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. But also that I'm improving my skills. So this was written by Colonel Benjamin Finley. And a little bit about Colonel Ben. He's retired within 30 years of service with our U.S. Air Force. Hoorah. And joint service weapons training, special ops duty at various bases, and the U.S. Air Force, and as an Air Force qualified as an expert in small arms. And Ben is also an NRA certified pistol instructor, an NRA range safety officer, and a Florida concealed carry license instructor. Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network affiliated instructor, and a USA Carry registered instructor. I really can't honestly say enough about his articles. I've read several of them to you people out there, and a lot of them are just awesome, you know. So going on to that, I liked what he had to say, and it couldn't been said any better than how he proposed it.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, it's a lot of it's common sense, you know, because it basically sits there and tells you, hey, learn about the product that you're going to use, what basically fits you. I mean, you know, it's kind of like the same principle of life, the fact that anything you buy out there, you know, if you got a size 7 foot, you're not going to go buy a size 12 shoe. I mean, you know.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I promised you guys here a little while ago that we were going to go ahead and play that 2020 with John Stossel on gun myths gone. And this is, it's really good. So we're going to go ahead and just pop that in there and wait for you guys to check it out. Thank you, Adam. You rock.
Hello, I'm Don Daler, and this is 2020 in Touch. On Friday, we had a new entry in our series, Myths, Lies, and Downright Stupidity. Of the 10 myths we covered, and you won't be surprised at this one, the most talked about was gun control reduces crime. Here's John Stossel.
It's about the weapons, the guns. Where did the killer get them?
They're shocked at how easy it is to purchase a gun.
It is simply too easy to obtain a firearm.
The belief that gun control prevents gun crime is why many were upset this spring when
a bombshell court ruling could put handguns back in D.C. homes.
A court threw out Washington, D.C.'s 30-year ban on guns. And that's outrageous, said public officials.
More guns very simply lead to more violence.
I don't know how anyone can be serious in saying that, because the gun violence went up when they banned handguns.
Tom Palmer's one of the plaintiffs who sued D.C. over the right to have a gun. He's correct about gun violence going up. Since Washington's gun law passed, the murder rate actually increased, even while America's murder rate dropped. It's because guns can also save lives, says Palmer, as one saved his years ago in California.
We were walking on the street, and this group of young men took really strong exception to that. They stood up 19 or 20 young guys followed us, and they told us, we're going to kill you, they'll never find the bodies. And I turned around and showed them the business end of a pistol.
Just pulling out the gun was enough to stop them.
Yeah, it works. Merely having a weapon and being able to display it when I was threatened saved my life.
Now, you may think that carrying a gun, as Palmer did, is illegal in most of America, but it's not. Many people don't realize that today in America, in about 40 states, it is legal to carry a concealed weapon on your person. And in those 40 states, there is no more violent crime or murder than in states where guns are restricted. The town of Kennesaw, Georgia, went a step further and passed a law requiring every household to have a gun. Did they then experience a crime wave? No.
Well, after the city ordinance passed, there was actually a decrease in reported crime in the Kennesaw area, especially violent crime.
Now, I don't want politicians ordering me to have a gun, and the law isn't enforced here. But townspeople we talk to like the law.
I think it makes people think twice.
This is a very peaceful place to be. We should have guns. I mean, that's what free society do.
These maximum security felons said they fear an armed victim much more than the police.
When you go to rob somebody you don't know, it makes it harder.
And they said gun laws don't matter to them. They don't obey them.
I'm not worried about the government saying that I can't carry a gun. I'm going to carry a gun anyway.
It's impossible to know exactly how often guns stop criminals because who reports a crime that doesn't happen? But people use guns in self-defense every day. Often just showing a gun is enough to prevent the crime. When robbers broke into Joyce and Raymond Pappin's home and attacked Raymond, he yelled,
"Get the gun, get the gun."
Joyce did, and when the robbers saw it, they ran away.
Boy, when he saw the gun, he just started running, and they weren't just walking fast, they were running. They had boots on. You could hear them boots a-clopping.
Joyce says having a gun changes the balance of power. And here's a controversial idea. Some Virginia Tech students say they wish students had been allowed to carry guns because one of them might have stopped the killer before he shot so many people. And that's what happened 5 years ago at the Appalachian School of Law. Hearing shots, 2 students went to their cars, got their guns, and helped restrain this shooter until police arrested him.
One of the things that the gun does is it equalizes unequals. My mom told me when I was a young boy, because she was armed, she was never afraid.
So, gun control isn't necessarily crime control. In fact, the National Academy of Sciences reviewed hundreds of studies and could not document a single gun regulation that reduced violent crime or murder.
If someone gets into your house, which would you rather have, a handgun or a telephone? You can call the police if you want, and they'll get there, and they'll take a picture of your dead body. But they can't get there in time to save your life. The first line of defense is you.
How do you like those apples?
Definitely. I mean, heck, you know, hey, it's right to the money and right to the point. You know, it's a dang shame that our government and that dumb bitch Feinstein couldn't see that. So it just goes to show you the ignorance of the people that we put in power to let them sit there and do it to us.
I think we're a little angry at the government today.
Nah, just angry at all, you know, stupidity.
I think it's a full moon out there. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of people are starting to become a little bit more aggressive today.
Yeah,
but
people
we should speak.
Yeah, you know, people are finally starting to open their eyes slowly but surely. And, you know, there's more to a president, there's more to the political parties to be than the fact of a name branding. These are regular people. They have their own agenda. They have their own ideas. And unfortunately, they're not the same as ours.
That's right. So I found another a letter that was posted on February 16th on 2013, and it's a letter by Joe Williams out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and and he writes, "It's all about all of your rights. To all of those who call for harsh gun control, I respond with Evelyn Beatrice Hall's famous quote. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend it to the death, your right to say it. Perhaps if they ever experienced the bitterness of government oppression, they would have instead offer a Second Amendment version of Hall's quote. I disapprove of your semi-automatic rifle and 30-round magazines, but I will defend it to the death for your right to own them. Both statements affirm the reverence to own as all constitutional rights. If the government, whether it be run by the Democrats or the Republicans, is ever allowed to alter any constitutional rights outside of the constitutional methods for doing so, every one of our every one of our other rights is in immediate and certain danger. I'm just going to say danger because.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Constitution, using the current justification that the majority of Americans want it, guarantees that a crisis and ensuing propaganda campaign will be manufactured to generate the necessary cover. What's next? An unruly anti-government protest that results in fatalities? So the right of assembly is to be suspended? I mean, he's already technically done that. I don't know if he knew that because it's a felony to even speak up against him.
Yep.
So apply the rationalization. The Founding Fathers never envisioned today's technology. Social media allows virtual assembly, which is just as good as the real thing, yet so much safer. How about due process? Since you don't really earn the things you own because of the ominous yet malevolent government, not so envisioned by our founders, provides the means that enables the resources you can use to acquire your possessions, then talking to your land or personal property doesn't warrant you to due process or compensation because it has belonged to the government all along, and that is this is a fair share way that the majority wants. Find a clue bag, folks. Oh, I like that. I think that's really good. Find a clue bag, folks. Changing constitutional rights requires a constitutional amendment. It cannot be done via executive action, congressional law, or popular mandate. Defend your rights or lose them.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Your constitutional rights require a constitutional amendment. A damn sure enough cannot be done by executive action. Well, guess what, folks? There's 42 executive actions that have been taken place that have sidestepped the Constitution of the United States. And even one of our most popular persons, attorney companies, has sit there and said that they wouldn't even touch a case like that because they don't do constitutional law. But isn't it amazing how they have constitutional lawyers?
Yeah.
What a joke.
Let me see if I can pull that up. What you said there was the bombing, and I see 23 actions. So is this the one you're talking about, or?
Oh, there's actually
executive orders. Oh, I see it right here. See what that's got to say on that. Also, we're going to cover a little bit of Florida law too. Let me see. Is this it? That says floodplain management. I don't think that's it.
No. There's so many different ones. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, makes it hard to look up, doesn't it?
Well, actually, the thing of it is, you just took about 15 seconds to flip through to find them. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just a matter that you have to go through all of them. But see, the thing is, there's a lot of them. And, and this is the whole thing that I keep trying to preach to people on my show. Look it up. Take that 15 minutes. Hey, forget the Kardashians for 15 minutes.
Forget Facebook for 15 minutes.
It's just like, people, this is your life. This is your livelihood. This is what protects yourself, your family, your children, your children's children. This is something that's going to keep on going for ages. If you stop it now, do you know something? When you have an armed robber that comes into your house and he kills your family, I'm going to be the first person to sit there and say, hey, you know something? It's a sad situation, but hey, you should have opened your mouth when the time was there instead of sitting back and be one of these, I ain't going to worry about it until it affects me. Well, guess what? When your family's dead, what are you going to do? Say, oh, I'm sorry, I should have said something?
Yeah.
They don't come back. This ain't, Pet Cemetery.
Oh, geez. That gives me goosebumps, too. So, and when I typed in here is I went to the Florida Department of Agriculture's website, and you see, I think I went too far into general laws there. I wanted to get into the Florida statutes of, I think it just circled me all around, yeah. Well, it's actually Florida Statute 790s. Anybody that's taken a concealed weapons permit course knows that the 790s, Florida Statute 790s, is basically everything that you can and can't do with a concealed weapons permit. And there we go. I'm going to pull it right back up. Actually, I think that next subject was actually even better than that. Let me see if I can go back. Do you think it'll let me? No, that's not it. Let me see. I want to be able to go back to it. Let me shrink it down and try it one more time again. There we go. Statute. There we go. Oh, come here. Isn't that funny? I am still. I still have a hard time with the.
I'm gonna get you a roller ball yet.
Yeah, I need like the mouse with the rolling ball on it so I can get away on there. But basically, what is on the Florida Department of Agriculture's website on is the application to find out if you qualify for to receive a concealed weapons permit. And I also read on there, it used to take, if you did the electronic background check, it used to take about 2 weeks turnaround time, about a month to get the appointment, and then about 2 weeks turnaround time to actually get your license back. They've actually got it posted on there about 90 days. So to me, that says, oh, you're going to hook me up with a, what if I don't know how to use that thing? I need a training course for this. You see what he gave me? He gave me a mouse with a ball on it. Yeah, let's see how. Oh God, my computer's spinning. It's like what? So, on the Florida Statute 790s, they list all kinds of definitions of what this concealed carry permit's all about. He held his hand up. I'm not entirely sure why.
He was saying, hey, I agree.
Oh, he's saying I agree. Okay. Alrighty. So it takes about 90 days now to get your concealed weapons permit as of after you've done the appointment and they've done the electronic fingerprint and background check. And then they're going to talk about the states that you can and can't carry in. You can carry in 35 states. Florida has 35 states of reciprocity. And another neat thing about this is non-residents can acquire a Florida's concealed weapons permit.
Cool.
And the the reason why the Florida's concealed weapons permit is licensed, it says weapons permit, is because it's not just firearms. It emphasizes on firearms, but it's actually, it gives you a little bit more to carry. You can carry stun guns, billy clubs, pepper spray, knives, and billy clubs. So there's quite a few on there.
A bat.
Yeah, well, if you can conceal it. If you can conceal it.
It'd be like, hey, baby, are you happy to see me, or is that a bat in your pocket?
Right? But so in the other states, you might not be able to carry those particular weapons. I remember one of my students, she's getting ready to take my course. She's from Texas. And yes, we have reciprocity with Texas, but they don't honor that ability to carry those other weapons. It's not on there. So... Yeah, you trying to teach me how to use my mouse?
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah? Alrighty, cool. All right, so maybe you can navigate this thing. But
yeah, I know where you're going.
All right. Then they also talk about places that you can and cannot carry. And that's kind of important to know that, too, once you've gotten your concealed weapons permit, to know what this is all about. And basically, it's about being put into a position of a forcible felony is the only time that you're allowed to use a firearm to protect yourself. And guys, I'm no lawyer out there, okay? What I'm reading from is the Florida Department of Agriculture's website on Statute 790s and of what I've taught throughout the years of being a firearms instructor. But so the only time that you can ever use a firearm is when you feel that you're going to die or suffer serious bodily injury.
Yeah. Imminent danger.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. But, it's imminent danger that's coming at you with deadly force.
That's right.
So.
I mean, because it has to be reasonably believed that he or she will die, not just also on hearsay.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know out there is that if this has ever occurred where you had to defend yourself, you're allowed to plead the fifth. You do not have to talk to the police. In fact, it's not really in your best interest. I'm not saying that makes you the bad guy. I'm just saying that makes you very wise. Because law enforcement will view it one way and it may completely be different from what really happened. Then you've got the news media reporting it in their version, in their way of embellishment.
Yeah, we know how they work.
And then you got the lawyers on those families' side that can turn and twist this in a heartbeat on you. So the best thing to do is remain silent. You can say if you want, I was in fear for my life. I understand that, this is what I got to do. This is the next step. Okay, but at least I'm alive.
Yeah, just remember 2 things about that situation. One, if you're going to sit there and talk, you better make sure you got your attorney. And if you get off with it, as far as, being a clean shoot, so to speak, then that's good. But guess what's coming? Civil suit.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely going to be, because there's always that bad guy. If you have to do this to defend yourself and unfortunately take the life of the person that's, trying to hurt you, you have the right to do that.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It is your inalienable right to defend yourself if it comes to that. But there's always another family member that says he was a good boy, or she was a good girl, and
he was an altar boy. He didn't do anything, So what
It's
if he
all
was
on
stealing all the money
interpretation.
out of the collections bag?
Yeah, it's all in interpretation. I've been given the 2-minute window to actually, my show's about up, and then Gerald Markins will come up. So I do want to leave you guys with a funny, if it's possible, and I don't know if he's wanting to do it, but I'd like to leave us with a funny about the how to piss off a frog, and then we'll continue next week with some more Florida law and current activities going on in the firearms industry. All right, so this is what I leave you with, guys: how to piss off a frog. Wait till you see this; it's absolutely hilarious. So thanks for being a part of the Talk Wad Radio Network.
No matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause.